no. He's gone. The dog's gone.
Is your name Marty McFly?
Yeah?
I've got something for you. A letter.
A letter from me? That's impossible. Who the hell are you?
Western Union. Actually, a bunch of us at the office were kind of hoping maybe you could shed some light on the subject. See, we've had that envelope in our possession for the past 70 years. It was given to us with the explicit instructions that it be delivered to a young man with your description, answering to the name of Marty, at this exact location, at this exact minute, November 12th, 1955. We had a little bet going as to whether this Marty would actually be here. Looks like I lost.
Did you say 70 years?
Yeah, 70 years, 2 months, 12 days to be exact. Here, sign on line 6, please. Here you are.
It's from the dock! Dear Marty, if my calculations are correct, you will receive this letter immediately after you saw the DeLorean struck by lightning. First, let me assure you that I'm alive and well. I've been living happily these past 8 months in the year 1885. The lightning bolt... 1885! September 1885!
Wait, Ken, wait a minute! What's this all about?
He's alive! The doc's alive! He's in the Old West, but he's alive!
Yeah, but Ken, you all right? You need any help?
There's only one man who can help me.
If your friends are nerdy and you are nerdy too, I wanna talk to you. Friends talking nerdy.
But that's...
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, because, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like I kind of liked that concept and the fact that they did that, where as messed up as it is, it falls into, like, yes, that makes sense. That's something that probably would happen, where, you know, if I'm gonna drink this orange juice now, 5 days later from now, I'm gonna wind up getting hit by a car. Somehow there's some sort of connection. You figure it out. Then, fuck it. Throw the orange juice out. Don't drink it. It makes total sense.
But similar to the butterfly effect deal, though, too, even if you don't drink that orange juice, maybe there's something else that will come along that will still put you in the path of that truck.
Granted, but the thing is, if it's something along the lines of The Flash, where, this guy cannot be born without this guy's genes, it's not happening.
But that's another thing, too. In season 2, and I believe in seasons beyond that, the reverse Flash has made further appearances.
Well, because he's from a different Earth, remember? Like that, and that's where it got stupid, and that kind of annoyed me with the whole Flashpoints, because it made no sense. Like he ran back into what is it that Flash? Like
a portal, or
it wasn't a portal, but it was like this zone where it's like they were stuck, and there was always had to be like one Flash that was in there.
I'm not sure. No,
I don't know. Well, it wasn't. No, I'm getting confused. What it was, Barry got really upset. He decided to run back to the past to change it, and he created a whole new timeline. And he realized he screwed up. and he wound up like having to go back and recreating the actual past that he was used to and that he knew, and because of that, it changed what I think was called Flash. They gave it a term, Flashpoint, and it created like this, like an alternate universe type of thing. And then they realized there's all these other alternate universes, so it's like Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3. So that's where the Reverse Flash comes in, because at this point, he's from a different Earth.
Oh, speaking of Flashpoint, I mean, that is DC's one of their big seminal event series, and there's also word that they're still planning on making, with that Flash movie, it's going to be the Flashpoint story. But what I hear they're doing with it is they are actually going to use Flashpoint as a way to fix what was wrong with the DCEU. So essentially doing away with the bad parts about it, maybe doing it by some recasting, keeping the good parts of the story. I even heard a rumor that, and again, this is just pure rumor, pure speculation until it's true, and hopefully it is true, that there are talks that maybe Warner Brothers may be backing up a lot of money to Michael Keaton's doorstep to make an appearance as an older version of Batman in the Flashpoint story as a way.
God, that'd be cool.
It would be a way to get rid of Ben Affleck.
Oh my God, I would love that.
That would be one.
So with the beginning with Affleck, is it because of money, or is there anything else going on that they don't want him for that role?
It's not that they don't want him; he doesn't want them at this point. I guess with the Batman v Superman and Justice League, how the debacle those two became, he just doesn't want to be involved in that series anymore.
I wish he had done that in the beginning.
Well, debacle not. Those films made quite a bit of money.
Not Justice League. Justice League bombed big time.
What about overseas?
I still thought it did decent.
It was considered a bomb. Overseas, I don't know what the totals are, but it performed severely underperformance.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
That would be a good throwback to the old first Batman if Keaton wants to play an older version.
But also with the time travel deal, yeah. I mean, why not find out why he's there and then have the Flash go back in time and then fix it, and then that'd be a way to kind of have a younger person take over Batman, because apparently rumor is that Jake Gyllenhaal is in talks to replace Ben Affleck. And you sound so excited there, Morah.
I don't know how I feel about him.
We don't control. This is. Oh man! Wow!
Lord.
What it shows, or if this is what you say, it's happening to him. You're hoping that with Josh Whedon over there, he may have provided some little more stability. But who knows? But this, look, right now Marvel is dominant. You got Black Panther coming out. You got Infinity War happening. Daredevil,
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You have, you can kind of see when you have a corporate structure running a comic division when all it's seen is dollars. Or at least with the Marvel knows there's dollars behind it, but if Marvel makes that story the way the fans want, fans come out and see it. And from Iron Man, from the first Avengers, even the stuff on Netflix, even stuff on TV, as a comic book fan, this is what we want to see. Done well, tell incredible stories, and the fact that Marvel Universe is diverse, which I'm loving even better. It's a win-win.
Yeah, with Captain Marvel coming out next year, and they're finally in pre-production for a Black Widow movie. Thank God.
And is Scarlett Johansson playing it?
Oh yeah,
she is.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
That's gonna be dedication. That's if the way it's done.
And apparently the deal could potentially make her the highest paid actress in Hollywood. But I think for me, the difference between the DC movies movies and the Marvel movies has to do with how they went about setting it up. With Marvel, they had one producer, Kevin Feige, that was the mastermind, and then he would get the appropriate directors and creative teams involved to kind of, work the overall vision that he wanted while still having the individual directors show their individual flair. Whereas with DC, they immediately went with the director, Zack Snyder, and made everybody else kind of go along with Zack Snyder's vision. And Zack is a unique talent as a director. Personally, he is a great director. I don't think he was right for the DC movies at all. And forcing the other subsequent sequels that came after to kind of follow that format was not the right call at all.
Yeah, but I mean, Watchmen and 300 are incredible. But like I said before, and I said on previous podcasts, we don't own these anymore. I mean, it's the kind of like, come on, man, do something. You know what? I gotta add in. We forgot Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was probably the best thing they've done so far. It came out last year.
Yeah,
let's be fair. So it's like that shows me if you're gonna.
Would you say it's the best? Because it's like I still enjoyed Thor. I think Thor was the best of the DC. Well done.
The best of the DC movies.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, not excluding out Chris Nolan and the early Mike Keaton stuff. Yeah, that even if you weren't a fan, if you didn't know what Wonder Woman was, the way it sets it up, you believe it, and what she's doing, it was incredible. That was probably one of the best films of 2017.
But that would also be the benefit of Flashpoint if done correctly, because I still think that there are some very valuable tools in the DCEU that have shown to work or can work. Wonder Woman, great example. That has worked big time. I think the Jason Momoa Aquaman movie is hopefully going to be of that same mold, so they can work.
Yeah, me too. That looks interesting. That got my attention.
Yeah.
If they can do it right, it got my attention.
And it got Morah's attention too, right?
Hells yeah.
So hopefully they can work that right, work their magic right, because they do. Even the cast, Henry Cavill, people give him crap for not being Superman or whatever, Christopher Reeve. I think he was good at what he did. I watched him in Justice League and I loved it. But I don't know. It's trippy because they're making some big mistakes, but the positives they've done shouldn't be discarded due to the mistakes.
Yeah, but you have one division just literally running gangbusters for almost 10 years now. Mm-hmm. That sets the standard so high, and you have a corporation who owns this great property and a unique fan base, and every once in a blue moon, like I said, the first Superman is probably one of my favorite films, and then Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. Still love watching those films to those days. Mm-hmm. So it's always those at top. It's about making money. Let's be honest. It's about, can I make this film, and the film gets made, will it make money? And I think Marvel feels the same way, but the fact that Marvel stuff is actually a story to it makes it even more compelling. So
it is a business, but in the entertainment business, there are two things you got to worry about. You got to worry about the money, but you also have to worry about the story. One without the other, it's not going to be good no matter what you do. You could have a great story, but if you give it a crappy budget, it's unless you got a very visionary filmmaker involved, it's not going to work. And if you throw all the money at something and give it a shitty story, you're going to have Attack of the Clones. You got to have both.
Yes, but also a lot of times, like any corporation, sometimes they just want to get the best people. It doesn't mean that they're passionate about the actual project or they know the history of of the story they're trying to tell, which always kills me. I'm always like it where it's like, if you're going to have somebody play a role or somebody direct this, it's like, let them be a fan of the actual character of the story that they're trying to tell. So that way they know they're not just going to poo-poo all over it, because and just be like, okay, we'll put an explosion there, and, you know, we'll show breast over there, and it's like, you know, we'll put them together at some point, and boom, we'll have a hit. You know, and they think that's what it is. And it's like, no, you need more than explosions and sex. You need to have, you know, the story, because this is what the fans are there for. They want all of that, but they still, like, be true to the character. Like, you know, it's like all of a sudden, it's like if you have Superman all of a sudden, you know, growing a third arm, and it's like now he can't fly. It's like, wait, what? When did that ever happen? I don't ever remember reading that in any comic book or even seeing it on the cartoon. What the hell?
Or what's wrong with Superman's lip, Mommy? Speaking of Superman, the first movie ended with the time travel piece. Superman holding Lois's dead body in his hands and then making the Earth revolve backwards to get back to that same point to save her. What do you think about that?
That I always thought was interesting, but here's, like, he did it instantaneously. It's not like he waited for anything major to happen, you know? So it's like, it's one of those, like, wow, who knew that just, like, rotating and spinning and going really fast could, like, pull everything back? But, you know, again, like, this is back in a time where, think about, like, what did we really have as far as time travel shows and movies at the time? Like, so I was thinking about this, like, so when I was young, the only time travel movies I can think of is it was the H.G. Wells Time Machine, which, you know, he had a machine and he just went back to, like, what, like caveman weird era, and then he went to the future where,
you know what, I never, the original Malcolm McDowell, right, Malcolm McDowell played
I don't remember.
Malcolm McDowell played one, but the remake they did, I remember seeing that, and that was so bad.
I've read the books, not seen any of the movies.
Yeah.
So, but then there was one with also I think with oh my God, Time After Time, was it called?
Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve?
No. There's that one too, but no. There was, this one was, it incorporated Jack the Ripper.
Oh, right, yeah. His character goes back in time and see if he can stop Jack. Yeah, it's like...
No. So they were in, like, old England, right, and he goes to the future. So now it's supposed to be, like, present day, like in the 70s, I think it was, like late 70s. And
in New York, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Was it New York or was it San Francisco? Yeah, we have to look it up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's killed me. I meant to look this up before I came over, because that, like, to me, that was, like, an interesting premise, and also the fact they incorporated Jack the Ripper, so it gave, like, a mystery and a thriller into it, as well as, like, a sci-fi. Time
After Time, 1979.
So it was Time After Time.
Right, Time.
Okay. I still have my memory. Okay. So, like, there was that, and that was really cool. And so here's the thing with time, going back to the whole time travel thing, I feel like when they play, like what they're doing with Marvel right now, where they're not in the past, they're in the future, and now they're trying to get back to the past so that way they can stop whatever occurred, so this way that future doesn't happen. To me, I feel like that has more of a chance. It makes more sense. Even though it still has a paradox to it, because it's kind of like, well, if they make a change, then the future never happens. Then how do they know to go back and not to do? You know,
right?
It's weird. But it makes a little bit more sense. Like if we think about, what was it, like that X-Men movie,
Days of Future
Past.
Yeah, which it's funny, like, I kind of liked it in the sense because it's in the future and they send Wolverine back, and he had to, like, make things happen so that way the future doesn't happen the way it did. And I kind of liked, actually, I wish they would have stopped the series there, because I feel like the fact that they were able to bring back Jean Grey, because I always hated that movie where, you know, everybody dies. What she became the Phoenix?
That was the X-Men 3. X-Men 2, the Red Random one.
Yeah, it's like the way they kill Cyclops, it's kind of like, wait, what? Is he really dead? Is it, like, they didn't quite show it, they alluded to it, and, like, you just...
except for the fight scene between Iceman and Pyro, Yeah, that was kind of, but also Professor Xavier gets killed in that. It gets vaporized in that movie. So it's so weird to part of you is seeing how powerful the Phoenix really is. She's an entity.
Yeah.
And the film just was.
I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy. Yeah.
Brett Ratner is just a horrible director and a horrible human being.
Your favorite person next to Will Ferrell.
God, if they made a movie, my head would explode.
Oh wow! When Ratner's been kind of quiet, right? I mean, it's been I guess it's
he has to be now. He has. To, he's one of those guys on the list now that is getting his comeuppance for being a jerk, sexist jackass. Yeah, but switching topics. Another time travel movie, Planet of the Apes.
I have to admit, I think I saw it when I was young, so I saw like the original, and I think that was it. I never saw it again because it was just too depressing for me. And every time they do the remake, just watching the trailer, seriously, it's like I'm rooting for the apes, and it's like I'm just too depressed. Like, yeah, no, it's just I can't watch it.
The original's good because it sets up what you. I mean, when Charlton Heston's been passed, he's there.
And he's shirtless.
Yes, more said shirtless.
Get your stinking paws up.
Exactly. And finally he communicates and he has some intelligence. But to also find out what happened after, what caused, the destruction of the planet. I mean...
It's just sad.
It's just sad. I mean, yeah, it is. But think about that. He goes forward in time to when the civilization is like literally starting over again.
I don't know. I got a soft spot for old-time overacting like that.
It's great. Listen, that's a classic movie.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Not at all. I know it's like one of the all-time greats. I just can't. It's too sad. I can't watch it. It's too sad for me.
It's kind of. I'm kind of surprised. Is this weird that that Tim Burton was allowed to do the remake? Because that's I figured it'd be one of the few films you want to touch, but with the new trilogy of kind of like of the prequel, actually, that's another great film that came out too. War of the Planet of the Apes. That was a really good film. Yeah, that was with Woody Harrelson. It talks about how the humans are starting to become infected, and this is a disease that starts wiping humans out, and it is. It was a nice coda because once that film ended, humanity,
is fucked.
Yes.
Good. Long live the apes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing though I like about the new Planet of the Apes trilogy is that they knew they were not going to meet the expectations of the original movies, and they did not try. I think that's the big failing of the Tim Burton movie. One, Tim Burton clearly did not have any interest in making that movie. I think, and I'm not saying that out of turn, I think he's been on record as stating that he did that simply at the studio's request. But the other big thing is that they tried to keep the twist at the end of the movie, and the twist didn't work, and the twist had Marky Mark, and just everything about that movie was horrible.
See, so here's the thing. Already Tim Burton is saying, well, he's really not into it, he's just doing it, as per the studio's request. That's a failure right there. Like, would you want to run to go see a movie when, when you hear that?
No, you want to see a film that's like, hey, I really worked on this. I want to see this. And if you're a Tim Burton fan, he has a look and feel of the film that you're gonna be entertained about.
No, but like the last Star Wars movie, the director's name, like
Rian Johnson.
Yeah, it's like they did a whole interview with him, and in the interview, he was even saying like how excited and how nervous he was because he didn't want to screw it up because this is something he, watched when he was a kid and he wants to do it justice. And like, this is a fan who's taking over, to produce something that it's a work of love at this point. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do it just for, okay, it's in my contract and I'm getting paid for it. Sure.
Yeah, and I actually heard a nice little theory that Rian Johnson wrote The Last Jedi as an ode to Star Wars fans. He said, essentially, the whole point is that the heroes that we grew up on, we have to learn ultimately that sometimes they're human as well, and they're not always dependable. And then you have people like the First Order who take things way too seriously, but then other fans, and I'm not articulating it as well as I could have, it was, there's a YouTube channel, Movie Bob, did a great little exploring on that, and I would definitely recommend checking it out, because again, a lot more articulate than I'm making it. But ultimately, he said that Rey and her people had to adjust their minds on thinking of what the series could be, but then they are changing it for the better for the future.
Okay.
Which means I didn't articulate it well.
I mean, I get it. I think, you saw Last Jedi, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you saw it too, right, Tim?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah,
Did I see it? I'm sorry, what movie were we talking about? I never heard of this. It sounds...
Wow.
What's a Star Wars?
Was it a cartoon?
So, with that movie, I felt that was the code. It was the end. Both those characters had gone. It's going in a different direction. And I think some of the older Star Wars fans, they were kind of upset. But I was kind of like, it has to move on. It's done. They've contributed. I think things are changing. The story can continue to move forward without those characters.
Yeah.
And I like that. I can't wait for the Han Solo movie. Can't wait, and I think and hopefully the next Star Wars hopefully JJ will really have it come together and nice. We'll find out more about Finn. We'll find out more about all that other stuff. So that's that's kind of a good thing. So
the only thing I didn't care for about the movie, I shouldn't say the only thing. There were a few little things, but the one thing, and it came close, I feel like, not that close, but it was borderline where the Asian chick who was with Finn.
Rose.
Oh my God. So here's the thing. This is funny. So I actually met somebody who was explaining to me how movies are, the way they're being produced now, it's a tie-in with Japan. And the deal is because, if they film it in Japan or, Japan backs it up or something, I wasn't quite following this, but basically, anytime something like that occurs, the deal is they have to have a Japanese character in the movie. And he was like, when you watch this, because I was going that night to watch it, and he was like, you're going to think of this conversation when you watch this movie, and you're going to realize exactly what character I'm talking about. And Rose, I felt like, oh my God, this was like one of those anime characters come to life. Did you not think? Seriously, it's like, her whole positive disposition and the whole the can-do attitude, and she's like, well, I have to follow the rules, I have to turn you in, and it's like, okay, well, let's go do this, why can't we do this, and I love you. It was just like, it really felt like it was what's that stupid Pikachu come to life. I really felt like she was Pikachu.
So are you saying that she was too perky? It
was a little bit too much for the Star Wars thing. Like I said, it was borderline for me because I think it was on my radar, and that's how I looked at it.
Perky, right.
But still, it definitely was nowhere even close to being Jar Jar Binks.
Were you having?
Oh yeah.
Were you having flashbacks to a certain person we both know?
We will not. We shall not name. What is it? We will not talk about Thou Shalt Not Be Named.
Okay. Stories for a different day, I guess.
And with that, another episode of Friends Talking Nerdies and Books. We thank you all for listening. This is Tim Jousma. Remember to tune in again next week to hear the wrap-up of our conversation on time travel. This coming Friday on Facebook, if you search for Friends Talking Nerdy, at about 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, we are going to have our very first ever live Facebook event. What we're going to be doing is this. That is the day that we are going to be recording our 1-year anniversary show. If you head to Facebook, again, search for Friends Talking Nerdy, subscribe, like, all that jazz. Again, at 5 o'clock Pacific time this Friday, we are going to start a live broadcast of our recording the anniversary show. And to top that off, to make this a memorable experience that no one will ever forget, we are all going to get drunk on the show. So again, this Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's Friday, August 3rd. If you are listening to this on the day of release on the West Coast on August 1st, find Friends Talking Nerdy on Facebook and watch our Facebook Live show as we give you a live performance of what the anniversary show will be like. So we hope to see you then. And remember, tune in again next week.
Good evening, Warden. I think these two men should be safe here with you now till they can get a fair trial.
Who is it, Superman?
Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Of our time?
I hereby serve notice.
He's serving notice to you.
That these walls
here.
Will you shut up, please, you?
All right, take them away, boys.
You.
Don't hit me now.
Guards. This country is safe again, Superman. Thanks to you.
No, sir. Don't thank me, Warden. We're all part of the same team. Night.
Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy on iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, as well as Spotify. Remember to support Friends Talking Nerdy on Patreon.